Welcome back to Spanish 1 Video 7. We are moving right along in our vocabulary and we are studying this week words that you would use in your classroom. Now I know that we homeschool, so most of the words that we would use are also words that are en tu casas, in your houses, but we are just acting as though when we go to school on Wednesdays, the vocabulary words will be things that you'll find in that classroom. So bear with me on that. Objetos en la clase, objects in the class. So in order to say the sentence we have in our class, we have to use a verb that we have learned and practiced together. And that verb is an irregular verb, tener, which means to have. So in order to conjugate tener, you have to change the spelling in a couple of different places, but we've talked about this a lot of times. And that's what makes it irregular. So say it with me. Tener, tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tenéis, tienen. And of course that means to have. I have, you have, he has. We have, y'all have, they have. And you should know how to spell that because you know how to pronounce it. When you pronounce it, you can't misspell it because you hear the extra I in there when you say it. So in order to say we have, we say tenemos, we have. So our sentence this week is tenemos en nuestra clase, which means we have, tenemos in nuestra, our clase, class. And then these are the words that will fill in to that sentence. So moving right along, una ventana, which means window. It means a window, and it's a feminine noun. So you use the article adjective a that ends in a because it's feminine. The article adjective un is masculine, but since this is a feminine noun, we're using una ventana. Una puerta, that means door. Una estudiante, a girl student. Un estudiante, a boy student. And you can see that the estudiante is spelled the same, but you add an A to una to describe a girl student. You don't for a boy student. You just say un. Un papel, a paper. Un libro, a book. Un lápiz. You should know that one because we play the game Mi Lápiz. It means pencil. Un bolígrafo. That is one of my all-time favorite Spanish words. It sounds super powerful, and it is. The pen is powerful. And I always like to have one close to me. Un bolígrafo means pen. Un escritorio means desk. Una silla, that means chair. But we have unas sillas, many chairs. Also, instead of a desk at school, we have una mesa, which means a table. We don't use a desk, we use a table. But you already know that one because we studied it when we studied El Restaurante back in the fall. Una pizarra, which means whiteboard. Un marcador, which means marker. Un borrado, which means eraser. And un cuaderno, which means notebook. So you know how to say now, we have in our class, and you can plug in each one of these nouns to that sentence. So your homework this week is to write 5 sentences using tenemos en nuestra clase. And when you write it, you should say it because the best way to learn it is to say it, to write it, to see it, to hear it. Tenemos en nuestra clase, and then you pick 5 of these things. So you might say, tenemos en nuestra clase un papel. We have in our class a paper. We have in our class un bolígrafo. Tenemos en nuestra clase un bolígrafo. You'll write 5 sentences using this beginning and then plug in one of these nouns. I also want you to write all of these nouns separately on a piece of paper. So it's a 2-part homework, but it's simple and you can do it. And if you have questions, you can call me or just rewatch the video. Stay tuned for more. Happy Spanish speaking.